A very warm welcome to you. I'm Lara Waldman, the Wealth Accelerator, podcast host and author of Money Manifestation Mastery. And today we have the great pleasure and honor to be joined by Carly Whorton. Carly has been a client inside of the Living Abundance Mastermind, is an exceptional human and business owner. Welcome, Carly. So lovely to have you join us today.
Thank you for having me, Laura. It's great to be here. I appreciate it.
Can you take a minute to introduce yourself and what you do?
Yes. So my platform, my mission is owning authenticity. And my goal with working with one-to-one clients, with facilitating group spaces, community spaces, is to provide a safe place for our deeper self to come online, for ourselves to be witnessed, for that deeper truth to get to be spoken out, to get to practice taking up space, to get to meet ourselves in a supportive place where it's not always readily available in the wider world. And so carving that out and gifting that to ourselves is something I'm really passionate about because in my own journey, it has meant everything.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for holding that very important space. And I would love you, Carly, to share some of your experiences inside this world of wealth in the manifestation mastery work that we do together. You had some great experiences, some great stories, some great shares. What would you like to share about some of your breakthroughs or experiences you've had behind the scenes?
Yeah. So I want to start by just sharing about like the wealth retreat and the free 5-day experience that you offer that I've done 3 times now, twice before I joined, one right before I joined, and again after being in the mastermind. And it is such a powerful container. I just like have to give you kudos right off the bat for the way that container works on us on on an energetic level. Um, the one right before I joined was in May of 2024, and I had been hearing for like a month that 10K is on its way. I had been having some money stress and just looking at my bank account and feeling like, okay, come on, like need a little bit of cash here. And my higher self was like, 10K is on its way, 10K is on its way. Just kept telling me that, relax into it. Just it's on its way. So, like, since it's on its way, you don't need to worry so much. And I had relaxed and relaxed and relaxed for like a month. And then the wealth retreat came. And that knowing of 10K is on its way actually merged with reality. I got an email and they were like, we need a consultant. We need somebody to show up and do this. And can we call you? Bada bing, bada boom. They're like, this job pays $9,999. I'm like, okay, well, I'll take it. And thank you so much. And so that landed and I enrolled in the mastermind. It just felt like it was too aligned to not take it as like, obviously this is the next step. So that was really awesome. And now that I've been in the mastermind, one of the things that has felt the most potent to be working on, like with my one-to-one coach. Shout out to her. Yukti's amazing. Just powerful space holder. You say that, and like until you really feel it, it's something that like doesn't quite sink in, like what the full gift of that really is to be held and reflected in that way. She's amazing at it. Um, but one of the most potent things that we've been working on is my intense desire to be seen and my fear of being seen. So it just is, I wonder how relatable that is. Probably pretty relatable that like we want something so powerfully and it's also one of our greatest fears.
Yes.
And so that experience of both feeling ready to be seen ultimately manifested itself as like, if I'm ready to be seen, that means I've got to clear the block. I've got to integrate the fear of being attacked.
Mm.
and abandoned and alone. So that's what we've been working on, is kind of coming at that from all of these different angles, different layers, different memories from my past that seeded that fear like deep down in my core. um, we've been working with me at different ages of my desire to be seen and my fear of being seen. And I have noticed, like, it's been 5 months that I've been in the mastermind at this point, and starting about 3 months ago, I noticed like a noticeable shift in how I'm showing up, in kind of like how I'm letting go and feeling more comfortable to let the cards fall how they will,
Mm.
like to let go of control of thinking about like what other people are going to think about what I'm doing, sharing more freely, sharing in ways where I know, like, there's like, for instance, on Instagram, reels have a much wider reach to new accounts than posts. So like you have a much better shot at growing your visibility if you post reels. And I had this huge block to posting reels. I just could not bring myself to do it. And I couldn't figure out like why. Like that's what you need to do if you want to grow your account, like post the reels. And so that's like one very tangible example of like now I'm posting reels every single day. And my account is growing and my reach is growing as expected. But getting myself to do that was a deep inner process of working through like that specific fear and really like that part of me. Because there was one part that really wanted to be seen. There was a different part that's like slamming on the brakes as hard as she can and taking everything I ever create and going and burying it in an energetic hole so that nobody will see this and nobody can attack it and criticize it. And so she's no longer burying things. And so that's a huge win. It's like being able to show up more fully and more authentically. And when my mission is owning authenticity, that feels like money in the bank,
Mm.
to be able to tap into my authentic self, and not only in private, but in public. It feels really critically like critical infrastructure for my business. And
Mm.
it has also resulted in, 3 months ago, I said I noticed a difference. I put on a free event that brought in two high ticket clients. And I believe it was because of the freedom and the fun that I let myself show up with, which, yeah. So it does translate, and it's taken a little bit of time to like integrate that fear, but and now 3 months later, like I'm noticing even more of a difference, and the work continues.
Mm. It's amazing. And congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Because it is incredible. It's not always directly about money in the bank, but obviously it's about finding out where those blocks are that's blocking us from welcoming more wealth in all areas of our life, right? And your inner wealth of you being your authentic self, and then your outer wealth of reaching your ideal clients and the people that are the
Yeah.
best work. I remember when I was in hiding with the same problem, my God, it's like, if you want to meet your clients, you got to come out of hiding. You need to let them know you exist, right? If we're
Yes.
hiding and burying our treasure, then no one can find us. So
Yeah.
all done, because I know what a huge journey that is.
Mm.
Anything else you'd like to share? Any golden nuggets, whether kind of, behind the scenes or anything else on your heart that you think would be really useful for people to hear inside of this work?
Yeah. Yeah. I would actually like to go back to my first wealth retreat that I did in May of 2023. So a year before the one I did where I joined the mastermind. And I had already been on a healing journey for many years. I had been on my authenticity journey for years at this point. And the wealth retreat, you did an activation where we went into our womb space and we planted the seed of our intention. And I felt something. I don't even know how to put it into words, but there was like my womb space came online
Mm.
for the first time as an adult. Like I had never felt anything in this part of my body before. And in the weeks that followed that activation, I unearthed and purged a lot of sexual shame that had been stored in that part of my body that I was completely out of touch with. It was 100% unconscious. I did not realize that it was in there. And becoming aware of the pain and shame that I was storing was obviously not a super fun experience, but is a huge piece of what I credit what I'm doing now. And like the success that I'm having in the mastermind now, and even alchemizing this fear of being seen, some of it we're doing the work around like my business and getting in front of clients. On the other hand, it's a fear of being seen like in an intimate relationship setting. So, still alchemizing the tail end of that sexual shame. And I do see them both being completely merged together. Is like this fear of visibility, like it's in all areas of life. And so as I work on it, I absolutely needed the time and space to do that deep purge that 2023 ended up being. And now that that deeper stuff has come out, it is more on the surface so that I can work more with it in my business with my coach. Um, yeah, just the layers of healing and the layers of what's in our body that like we don't even know until we take the time and we give that gift to ourselves of turning inward in a safe place where our body can relax and open and start to let those things come out. Again, not always super fun, but so freaking worth it. Again, like money in the bank to let that stuff come out and, rehome it, repurpose it, give it a different job. Like that part of me that was so scared that she's using all her energy to dig holes, so to put my creations in the holes and like keep them hidden. She's now using her energy to brainstorm ideas for podcast episodes and, you know, write content and all kinds of other ways to expand my visibility rather than shrink it. So I just, you know, as far as like sending out my heart and my appreciation for anybody who's doing any kind of work around healing what lives in their body, like even just holding that intention of being willing to meet what lives in the body is so freaking badass, for lack of a better word, and valuable for all of us that are sharing this global community, like letting that stuff become conscious. Like it is such powerful work and potent medicine, not only for ourselves but then in the permission field that we create for other people to do that work as well.
Mm. Well, thank you for doing that work. I see that, when you do that work, we do that work, it paves the way for other people, hopefully making it a little bit less heavy. And
Yeah.
so much gold on the other side of that great courageous work to go and meet these parts that it's like the initial response is like, don't go there. But then actually what we do inside of this wealth work is we lean in and get curious and make sure you're well held and supported so you can go through, transform, alchemize, right? And start using your energy for you rather than against you. And I think you're just you're living and breathing this work so beautifully, both inside the mastermind and in your own business. And the gold, I mean, right? So worth it after all the digging. So just want to honor you and acknowledge you, and beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the spaces you create that facilitate that. It's seen and appreciated.
Thank you so much. And yes, anyone who's interested in coming and joining the Wealth Retreat, which has been currently my free online event, you can check out the link below and book your place at the upcoming Wealth Retreat. And Carly, how can people, if anyone feels that they want to connect with you, what's the best way? We'll have Carly's details below this video, but what's the best way to get in touch with you, Carly?
Yeah, I'm most active on Instagram and YouTube. If you want to DM me, you can come find me on Instagram, and that is an open space to connect and tap in to what I got going on. All these spaces that I'm creating to to let ourselves be met more fully, more deeply, more authentically.
What's your Instagram name?
At Owning Authenticity.
Beautiful. So we'll
Pretty
put the
much all my website, YouTube, Instagram, Owning Authenticity.
beautiful. Thanks again, Carly, for taking your precious time to share your amazing stories and experiences with us. And if you're listening and you're interested in finding out more about this world of wealth, you can book in a call, check the links below. We'd be happy to connect with you. Thanks once again. Have a beautiful rest of the day.